Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make is actually a Scottish bread. I got this recipe from a friend of mine. I've made just one little small change that I'll explain to you what I did. But it makes for just a delicious, I would call it a tea bread. Great with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. It's not overly sweet, but it just has just the right sweetness to it. So to me, it's more of a tea cake, or we call a tea bread. So let's get started. What I started off with were 2 eggs and at room temperature, and I already beat them in my mixing bowl. You can certainly use your hand mixer for this. I use the stand because of the video. So go ahead and beat your 2 eggs, okay? The next thing that we're going to be putting in is 1 cup of granulated sugar. So I want to warn you about the sound of the mixer, and I'm just going to beat this in a little at a time. You combine your sugar, your cup of granulated sugar, and your 2 eggs that were beaten. Just beat it for a few minutes till it's light and fluffy and it's sort of a pale yellow color. The next thing we're going to be putting in is 2/3 cup of molasses. That was 2/3 of a cup. Now, I will not have the ingredients below the video. I want to tell you right off the bat, I'm sorry, but I stopped doing that due to so many people taking my videos, bringing them to different sites, posting them as their own work, and it's just not worth it anymore. So, you know, I hate to do that, but I'm not alone. There's many other people on YouTube that are doing the same thing, okay? That was 2/3 of a cup of your molasses, and I'm going to just blend that in. So again, the sound of the motor, just to warn you. Okay, now what you're going to do is just beat that for a minute or a minute and a half till it's smooth, okay? Now, the next is getting the dry ingredients together. What you're going to be doing is you'll need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to put a teaspoon of salt in. You're going to put a teaspoon of baking powder. And you're going to put 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay? And I'm just going to grab a spoon quick here and just give it a quick stir. And I'm going to start to put the dry with the wet. And then I'm going to alternate it with 2 cups of buttermilk, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of dry in. And I'm going to blend it on low. Put a little bit of the milk in. And then just keep alternating it. I'm going to raise the speed a little bit here. Okay, that's the rest of the milk and the dry ingredients. Now I'm going to raise my speed, so I'll warn you about the sound. This is a really quick bread to put together. It really is. It doesn't take any time at all. And I'm just going to take the excess off my paddle, set that aside. make sure that the sides, everything came together. Get to the bottom of that mixing bowl. And then I want to show you what the batter looks like. Very, very smooth at this point. It's not real watery, but it's not extremely thick either. It has that wonderful smell of the molasses, and when you're baking this Scottish bread, the whole kitchen smells so nice. Okay, the next thing that you're going to be putting in is, let me see, I just forgot for a second here. 1.5 cups of oatmeal. That was 1.5 cups. And I'm just going to mix that in by hand with my spatula. That was 1.5 cups. All right. And I'm going to put a half a cup of chopped nuts. Now you decide on whether you want to use walnuts or pecans. I'm using almonds. So I chopped up a half a cup of almonds and then just put that into your batter. Now, traditionally, she said that she always puts 1.5 cups of raisins. But I wanted to change it up just a little bit, and I'm using 1.5 cups of dried cherries. Now, again, I have done them both. I have made with the raisins, which it's fabulous bread, and then I've also done the cherries, and it's really also just excellent. It really is. And then just blend that in, and then you'll have this beautiful chunky, you know, batter that you can see with all those nice ingredients that you put in it, and you'll have again that smell of the molasses. It really, oh, such a great tasting bread. Now you're going to get 2 out of this recipe, so you'll need 2 9x5 loaf pans. I've heavily greased it, and you'll want to, of course, you know, even it out. I'm not going to bore you with filling 2 of them. You kind of, you know, get what I'm talking about, but you're going to get 2 breads out of this, okay? You're going to bake it at 350 degrees, and it could take you anywhere from 45 minutes up to an hour, depending on your oven, because all our ovens set up so differently. So, you know, check it with your cake tester or a toothpick, that type of thing, and when it comes out dry, you'll know that it's ready. You don't want to overbake these, but you know, again, you'll want to keep a close eye on them. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick because I was handling raw eggs. And then I want to show you what the bread looks like. The Scottish bread looks like once it's baked up. And this is how it turns out. It'll have that beautiful medium dark color due to the molasses in it. And we're going to cut it. I'm going to just grab a piece of wax paper for the counter here, and go ahead and cut a piece off so you can see it. And I don't know if you can or not, but then you'll see the oatmeal and your cherries and your nuts in there. It's very, very light. It's not a real heavy, dense bread, but it is a tea bread, I like to call it. But you can see the moisture in it, especially when I squeeze it. I hope you can see that. And just to give a little bit of the show you the flake in there. Oh, it's just delicious with served warm with a little bit of butter that I like it with. And I just really think you'll like this bread if you give it a try and you try this recipe. I really think you'll like it. Now, if you do try this recipe and you like it, well, leave a comment because I really like to hear from you. And please, as a reminder, to watch me solely on YouTube, because if you are writing to me on other sites, I'm not getting those messages. I can't answer your questions, and I'm always keep saying it's so frustrating. So please watch me solely on YouTube. I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, that'd be fantastic. If you'd like to ring the bell or even give it a like, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.